continue with warm temperatures this week. Rising close to 100 inland by the weekend, with Bay Area past weather, Jasmine Summers on the Black Information Network.
Our news all the time.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 news on San Francisco's BIN 910. In Oakland, neighbors are trying to help neighbors following business break-ins and other crime. NBC Bay Area reporting residents are rallying not only to show their support, but to hopefully keep businesses from packing up and leaving after becoming targets. A busted front door, broken glass, and $4,000 in damages and stolen tools left the owner of Nowheresville Tattoo in Oakland feeling dejected and ready to close the doors.
The fear is that you're done. You know, I think I had $200 in my bank account at that point, so it's to go teary-eyed.
Paul Urich says his shop is a community hangout, but after a break-in last week, he thought he might have to hang up his needles and walk away from the business he loved.
I was walking my dog and cleaning up the glass, and we're talking about it. Within minutes, I knew what I was going to do.
Ulrich's fear quickly turned to motivation after a GoFundMe was unknowingly set up to cover the cost of the theft and repairs. It quickly raised thousands more than the intended goal.
I felt the love, you know. When you're having tough times, you question what you're doing sometimes. And when everyone around you pitches in, you know you're doing the right thing.
Torrance Scott, who is black, owner of a local production company, was the person behind the crowdfunding campaign that raised the goal in 48 hours and then saw donations climb over 3,000. Regardless of what the story is right now in Oakland, there are still communities out there. There are still people that outweigh whatever you're hearing, Scott said. And they're not alone. Last month, dozens of people came out to dine and donated more than $17,000 to help a local restaurant keep their doors open too. Neighbors helping neighbors when times get tough. In other news, the search is on for a mob caught on camera attacking a San Jose police car. Video on social media shows them in ski masks stopping a reserve officer on the way to help an injured person. They jump and stomp on the hood, smash the windshield, and pound the windows. This all went on Saturday night after a sideshow, one of the many reported ones just before 7 p.m. The police chief called it deplorable and says this conduct won't be tolerated in the city. And more San Francisco businesses are getting help to stay open. The city is expanding its Vacant to Vibrant program beyond the Bayview neighborhood. It started last September and received over 1,000 applications, giving 3 months of free rent to 17 pop-ups. The second phase kicks in this week with 11 businesses and 8 different properties. The goal is to help downtown recover amid all the vacancies so shops extend their stay. And it's no surprise California is an expensive place to live, but how do our cities stack up with others worldwide? Turns out not so well at all. 4 spots here make the top 10 list of having the least affordable housing markets last year. A new international report puts San Jose first, followed by Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego. And that's a look at what's going on in the Bay Area. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 news on San Francisco's BIN 910.
Looking for ways to support your community? The United Negro College Fund is one of the nation's leading advocates for the importance of minority education and community engagement. Lend your support at uncf.org. Original Black Reporting.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910. Geico makes car insurance easy as spending the whole yoga class in child's pose.
Go ahead and lift to plank and transition your way to side plank on the right.
I'm going to stay right here, curled up in a ball on the ground.
Lift your left leg.
Nope.
And your left arm.
Not for me.
And take 5 deep breaths.
Oh, that part I can do.
With 24/7 emergency roadside service, it's easy to Geico.
If it's in your practice, now would be the time to go into a headstand.
I'm out.
Speak out about what's happening in your community. Call the Black Information Network hotline at 855-500-9BIN.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with John Legend about where he gets the stories behind his songs.
Sometimes my music isn't always directly autobiographical. Sometimes I just write a
a song because an idea came to me. I like to tell great stories and build on those stories and hopefully make them into great songs. We try to tap into the human experience, and it doesn't have to be our personal experience all the time to create great art.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from your favorite artists.
Stories from the front line.
Jack Fifth Avenue has apologized to Washington Wizards general manager Will Dawkins over a 2023 racial profiling incident.
Of the fight for justice, Apple is being accused of underpaying female employees in California.
And equality.
When America is a cold, black people get pneumonia.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910 and on the iHeartRadio app.
Some say it began in 1986 when songwriters Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis teamed up with Janet Jackson for her third album, Control. Borrowing from production that was popular at the time, the team would infuse Jackson's R&B vocals with drum machines and samplers synonymous with the hip-hop sound. The term New Jack Swing was coined a year later in a profile on Teddy Riley, whose contributions were so prolific he would later be hailed as the king of New Jack Swing. The genre-bending sound would define the New York club scene and spread throughout the world. In 2018, the New Jack Swing sound made its return with a remix of Bruno Mars' Finesse featuring Cardi B. This is Patty Jackson for the Black Information Network.
Our news, wherever you are. Tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network station on iHeartRadio.
In the BIN's new series, Top of Mind, we'll shed light on a topic that's impacting our community, along with our founding partner, GEICO. What's top of mind today is food insecurity. In 2022, nearly 23% of black people in the United States experience food insecurity, which is almost 2.5 times the rate among non-black people. According to the USDA, nearly 9 million black people lack sufficient access to nutritious food. Black children are more likely to experience food insecurity than children of other races. In 2022, 29% of black children lived in food insecure households. Uplifting the communities where we live and work through volunteerism and financial support is key to GEICO's culture of caring. That's why this year, GEICO, in partnership with the National Auto Body Council, donated a 2020 Toyota Tundra to the Houston Food Bank.
GEICO is proud to support communities where we live and work. And our Recycle Bites program is helping make a difference here in Houston. The Recycle Bites program helps ensure that organizations such as the Houston Food Bank have a reliable fleet of vehicles to provide the food bank's partners with regular deliveries. This enables them to remain stocked for residents in 18 Southeast Texas counties facing food insecurity. As a Houston resident, I am proud to see the impact we continue to make in my local community.
That was Yvonne O'Bain-Kerwood, GEICO's Claims Vice President. The battle against hunger requires more than good intentions. It necessitates practical, reliable transportation, and initiatives like Recycled Rides program can help. Collaborative endeavors like the one between GEICO, the National Auto Body Council, and the Houston Food Bank demonstrate the power of community-driven solutions in addressing systemic challenges, ensuring that no one goes hungry in our neighborhoods. And that's what's top of mind today, presented by GEICO.
Stories you trust from people you trust.
The Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
Here's what's trending at this hour. The Boston Celtics win their 18th NBA title. An Ipsos survey shows how the Trump conviction affects poll decisions. A TikTok ban challenge will be heard on September 16th, and that's what's trending.
Sports on the Black Information Network. The fight between boxing legend Mike Tyson and YouTube sensation Jake Paul is back on. The event has been rescheduled for November 15th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It was postponed after Tyson suffered a medical emergency during a flight between Miami and Los Angeles. Boxing great Bernard Hopkins. Netflix will stream the fight live. The trade deadline is just over a month away for many MLB teams. More than 100 players were moved last year, and more activity is expected this season. Here is the top 10 MLB power rankings. The Minnesota Twins are at number 10, followed by the Seattle Mariners, Atlanta Braves, Milwaukee Brewers, Kansas City Royals, and Cleveland Guardians. The Los Angeles Dodgers hold down the number 4 position, followed by the Baltimore Orioles at number 3. The Philadelphia Phillies and their home field advantage hold down the number 2 position. And the number 1 team in the MLB power rankings is the Bronx Bombers, New York Yankees. Get your sports at 14 and 44 past each and every hour. I'm Ray Harris on the Black Information Network.
Bank of America Corporation is proud to be a founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
The 23rd of August is recognized in many countries as the International Day for the remembrance of the transatlantic slave trade and its eventual abolition. The Day of Remembrance was selected by the UNESCO agency to acknowledge a historic slave uprising in the French colony of Santo Domingo, now known as Haiti. On the eve of August 22nd, 1791, African-American men and women revolted against slave owners. This uprising triggered the Haitian Revolution and eventually led to the island's independence from French colonizers in 1804. Over 200,000 Haitians perished during the multi-year conflict, along with thousands of French troops and colonists. The first Day of Remembrance occurred in Haiti in 1998. Today, countries around the world recognize this date and its contribution towards abolishing the slave trade. And that's a fact. I'm Wes M. Tishon for the Black Information Network.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network. Well, Alicia Keys is hinting at a new track with Jay-Z. The singer took to Instagram over the weekend to share a white and black clip of her and the rapper standing in front of bright lights before an orchestra breaks out in music. In the caption, Keys said, quote, "One dream, one song, 1 billion streams." Adding, "What's next?" Their iconic song Empire State of Mind has reached 1 billion streams on Spotify. They also performed the song at the 77th Annual Tony Awards over the weekend. In more celebrity news, Fantasia is in a celebratory mood after a street was named after her in her hometown. The city of High Point, North Carolina honored the singer and actress by naming a 2-block section of Edmondson Place between North University Parkway and Underhill Street as Fantasia Avenue. On Instagram, Fantasia said in part, quote, "Today I realized how much I miss my city, the place that taught me everything I know," end quote. She added that she has so much more to say, but overall, she is in awe of the love and support she has received. And finally, Inside Out 2 is taking over the box office. The Pixar sequel scored $155 million in its opening weekend. Bad Boys Ride or Die will fall to second place. Meanwhile, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is making its way back up to third. The Garfield movie Sports and John Krasinski's family film It will claim the last spot in the top 5. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network, MBINnews.com.
Time now for traffic and weather.
On the Bay Area's BIN 910.
A stall is the report blocking your shoulder, 580 westbound after north of Livermore Avenue. Coming in, you start heavy traffic all the way over to Daly City. There's a bumper or fender in your left lane that cars are swerving to avoid. Traffic to carefully there, 280 northbound before Eastmore. Traffic is snarled there. San Leandro, a crash cleared, 880 northbound before David Street, but you're still bottlenecked 9 minutes from Winton Avenue while traffic struggles to recover. An 8-minute slowdown on the Bay Bridge, 80 westbound between Grand Avenue and the metering lights. You are tapping the brakes across the stand of 101 northbound 880, bumper to bumper from Diamond Lane Split. Checking the area weather, the sun shines brightly today. Our highs inland, 88, 74 in Oakland, 76 Bayside, 68 in San Francisco, and 60 at the beaches. With Bay Area traffic and weather, Jasmine Summers on the Black Information Network.
Because perspective is everything.
The Black Information Network. Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Here are your top stories. A killer already serving time in a Georgia prison is accused of shooting an employee while incarcerated. Lots of Juneteenth events have already started, and after a string of break-ins at retail stores in Oakland, California, a black business owner decided to help out a white neighbor whose storefront was trashed by robbers.
I was walking my dog and he's cleaning up the glass and we're talking about it, and within minutes I knew what I was going to do.
That's Torrance Scott, who was black and created a GoFundMe account for his friend that garnered over $3,000. There are a number of acts of kindness like this from residents who are simply fed up with seeing the bad guys win and the good guys lose.
Famed actor Morgan Freeman continues his criticism of Black History Month. He has long maintained that Black history is American history. In a recent interview with Variety.com, Freeman, who is black, says he detests it. Someone on X resurrected a previous 60 Minutes interview with Freeman where he argued that racism would end if people just stopped talking about it. One user replied by writing that, quote, "I wonder if we stop talking about poverty, global warming, etc. Will that also just go away?" Another user chimed in, calling Freeman's opinion disgusting.
The Soul Rebels, an 8-piece brass ensemble hailing from New Orleans that blends soul, jazz, rock, hip-hop, and other genres, are currently wrapping up their 11-city tour with stops in D.C., New York City, and Philly. Marcus Hubbard of the group shares with the BIN how their music empowers unity.
We feel we're the ones that can bring everything together. You know, no matter what political race, we feel like as long as we keep doing our thing and passing our positive message, you know, every show, you know, we able to touch people, and hopefully touch enough people and touch that next person that can change the world for a better place.
The Soul Rebels will perform in Philadelphia on Wednesday, Juneteenth Day with Fred Wesley, and then hit D.C. on the 20th with the final dates in New York City at the Blue Note from the 21st through the 23rd with special guest Ghostface Killer.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a hot summer, and as a reminder, black people get skin cancer too. Although darker-toned people are less susceptible of acquiring the disease, the American Academy of Dermatology advises people, regardless of skin tone, they should regularly apply water-resistant sunscreen with an SPF of 30 on a daily basis when in the sun.
A Juneteenth celebration will be held at Grand Park in Spokane, Washington on the big day. The free event will include food, music, and black-owned businesses. Juneteenth is a celebration of the end of slavery in the U.S. It marks the final enforcement of the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas in 1865. All this week, the BIN will have reports on the history and importance of Juneteenth. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news impacting the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and join our conversation on X at BlackInfoNet. I'm Doug Davis along with Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The American Civil Liberties Union, founded in 1920, works in the courts, legislatures, and our communities to defend and preserve our individual rights and liberties. Find out how you can get involved at ACLU.org. That's ACLU.org.
Honest, credible, trusted.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
Your money on the Black Information Network.
Crop prices have skyrocketed in recent years due to a combination of high prices and high interest rates. While some relief may come soon, industry insiders say prices may still remain high for quite some time. As of May, customers are paying on an average $760 a month for an auto loan, according to Moody's Analytics. While that is a drop from a high of $795 in December of 2022, it is still roughly a 40% increase over $535 for the average payment in May of 2019. A near record 17% of car owners are paying more than $1,000 a month, according to Edmunds, a car shopping site and industry data provider, though slightly down from a record 17.9% in the fourth quarter of 2023. The rate has maintained at about 17% for a year. The idea that you're going to pay $700 to $800 a month for the next 6 years, I mean, that sounds crazy for a depreciating asset, said Charlie Cheeseborough, senior economist for Cox Automotive, which owns Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book, plus provides a range of services for the auto industry. Money news at 24 and 54 past each hour. I'm Natasha Williams on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BIN News. MBytes.com. Get the Black news that matters in 30 minutes on the Black Information Network.
I'm Esther Dillard.
And I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
In Troy, Michigan, the culturally mixed congregations of the Woodside Bible Church and Kensington Church came together to pray for the 9 people shot at the Brooklands Plaza splash pad in Rochester Hills over the weekend. The Detroit Free Press reports a husband and wife who shielded their 2 daughters were shot a total of 7 times, while a mother and her 2 sons were also shot, including her 8-year-old shot in the head. Black senior pastor Christopher Brooks.
This is an opportunity for us as a community to love one another, to support one another, and to show that we can be at our best when things are at their worst.
The shooter was identified as 42-year-old Michael Nash. Police say he killed himself at a mobile home after the shooting.
Very, very, very hot. That's how one black dad described the 90-degree plus humid temperatures to NBC Chicago. The city is not alone, since most of the country will be experiencing that and worse in the coming days when the real field temperatures are around 100 degrees or more. Experts advise if you need to be outside, look for shade, wear lightweight clothing, and hydrate before you get thirsty. Best advice is to stay inside with air conditioning. Many cities are opening cooling centers for people who don't have air conditioning so they can stay cool.
Every year, dozens of black children and teens are killed in unintentional shootings. In many of the incidents, a black child or teen pulled the trigger of a gun, injuring themselves or someone else, not realizing the gun was loaded or could cause such injury. To help raise awareness about the importance of gun safety, the BIN is launching its first public safety awareness campaign called Lock It and Store It. Over the next 3 months, the network will feature special reports on things we all can do to help prevent these tragedies. Learn more at BINnews.com.
And it's time to grab a fork and get your eat on at Sophie's Week in Lexington, Kentucky from now until the end of the week. That's because it's Black Restaurant Week there. Officials kicked it off following the city's early Juneteenth festival held over the weekend at the Moon Dance Amphitheater with food and craft vendors celebrating black culture. Remember to keep it locked right here on the BIN. We'll have reports all week long on the history and importance of Juneteenth.
I'm Esther Dillard, along with Doug Davis, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now here's your Healthy Minute. The U.S. Surgeon General wants social media to include a warning label for kids, with roughly 90% of the U.S. teenagers saying they're on social media. West, who is a self-proclaimed Gen Z, is one of the people who could see the benefits of a warning.
I think that there's safety in warning. If children and parents were able to get a bit of like an understanding as to the side effects of social media in the long term, like before they really let their kids go on and even they themselves go on, I think it would give them a better understanding as to what they're tapping into.
Dr. Vivek Murthy wrote an op-ed in the New York Times saying there's plenty of evidence that the time online is linked to significant mental health risk in young users, adding the warning would be similar to those on alcohol and tobacco labels. That's your Healthy Minutes. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
All the black news you trust every 30 minutes on the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact. Yeah, let's talk about this jam here. Yeah, you know that one. Dennis Edwards and Saida Garrett. In 1968, Dennis Edwards replaced David Ruffin in The Temptations. Dennis was the lead on a lot of great Temptation songs like I Can't Get Next to You and Cloud 9. He left the group in 1983 and released his debut solo album, Don't Look Any Further, the following year. It's been sampled by a lot of hip-hop greats like Eric B. and Rakim, Studio, Junior Mafia, and a host of others. I bet you didn't know who this song was originally written for. This song was originally written for Jermaine Jackson featuring Whitney Houston. Whoa. I'm Bill Black with another Bet You Didn't Know music fact on the Black Information Network.
9:10 a.m. KKSF, Oakland, the Black Information Network.
Listen at BINnews.com or tell your smart device to play the Black Information Network on iHeartRadio.
Invite more now, dear